Good girl. Well, good morning. It's Scott and Tiana. And it's today's trekking with Tiana up at Haddo House today. It's very early on a Sunday morning. It's about just after 6:30 and we're just going for a wee walk. Tia, you good bud? Good girl. We have to keep her on the lead pretty much most of the time up here. There's lots of deer and pheasant and duck and rabbits and squirrels and all sorts of stuff up here, so we have to make sure that she stays on lead. This place is pretty big. It's about 250 odd acres. We're still under kind of social distancing and lockdown restrictions up here, but we are allowed to go for walks, and this place is 5 miles from where I live. It's just outside. If you ever get a chance to come up here, it's well worth a visit. There's a house, lake, wooded area, children's play area, fantastic walks. If you come to Aberdeen, it's only about 15 miles, 17 miles from Aberdeen along the B999. Just head out towards Tarvis and then you'll see signs for it. So, but I stopped here because this behind me is actually one of the oldest birch trees in the northeast of Scotland. And it has a disease as far as I know. It's had it for a long time, hence why the reason the fence is round it. You can see the fence round it there. You're not allowed to get too close to it. It basically rots the inside of it, which is what the sign is there. So yeah, I remember when we were kids, we used to come up and we used to be able to. Well, I climbed on it, but yeah, it's one of the oldest beech trees. We'll see if it says how old. 24 metres high, and the trunk diameter is 2.1 metres, and the canopy spread of 45.5 metres. Wow. It's got a fungus inside it, so it's getting eaten from the inside out. But this fence was put up in the 1990s. So anyway, we're going to take this path here. You could take the other one. It all takes you around the same, but basically what it does is you just go basically round the outside of the whole sort of park area. It's owned by the National Trust, which most of the places are around here nowadays. I will tell you a bit more about some of the features and some of the bits and pieces. I won't stop to do a wee bit more of some of the features and things like that around the park. When we get a chance to stop at the house, I'll give you a bit of a spiel about the house, and it's quite interesting. Anyway, we're going to go for a wee walk. I've just seen our first rabbit this morning. She's luckily she didn't see it. I was about to get pulled off my foot. Well, maybe somebody does live here, but maybe not anymore. The thing is, they used to certainly live here. Oh, there it is. There's some rabbits. You can see them there. Don't know if I can zoom in. Not really. Might see them move into it. There we go. So we're coming up now to the pheasantry. Actually, what this building is here, and this bit of land in front. not sure if it's used, but there's lots of shooting that does go on in this part of Scotland, and I'm not sure. Maybe it is used. I couldn't say if it's used for shooting, but there's lots of shooting, and there's plenty of pheasants up here. That's for sure. But this park here, or this bit, is used now for. Has been for a long time. Used for Cub and Scout camps, of which I attended many. There used to be a fire pit over there. We used to sit around the campfire and sing songs. I remember we set up our tents just over there in the corner one time. In fact, it was my first time camping ever, and I suffer from migraines. I still do now, and I got a hell of a migraine, and I was sick inside my tent, and I don't think people were too impressed. And I had to come inside the building with the adults, and they were all drinking whiskey and having fun in front of the fire while we were outside freezing. But yeah, it was one of my first experiences. I think I got myself so wound up, so excited about my first camping trip with the Scouts that, or the Cubs it was actually. Must have been only 8 or 9, and I didn't even get a chance to eat any of the midnight feast snacky stuff that my mum would give packed for me. There was loads of it. It was a huge amount of food, treats and stuff. Anyway, I think we'll give Tiana a biscuit here. Here, what's this, bud? Come on, buddy. See if she comes up and with her. Tiana, here. She just thinks she spied something, but I don't think she has. Here, what's this? Good girl. Come on get it. Good girl. Tiana is a good girl. She's a good girl. After all, she's the star of the show, aren't you, bud? Princess Tiana. Eh? Princess Tiana. I might let her off further round, but there is a duck pond, and there's lots of ducks around there, so I'm not going to do that just quite yet. So this is where the path verges again. We're going to go down the right hand side because I don't really want to go in front of the round past the ducks, because the ducks are down there, and I don't really want her to try. There's geese as well actually. I don't really want to try get her anywhere near any of that stuff. So down and in this field, I'll just turn this round. There's a well, which is let's talk about ducks. If you've seen them, if you've seen the ducks, there's a well over, if you can see it, over that corner. And also, God, it feels so small since the last time I was here. Well, not the last time I was here, but when I camped here with the Scouts. But this part of this field here used to also be used as for camping with the Scouts, and we used to have multiple Scout troops and Cub. What do you call them? Cub troops, not troops. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was lots. Used to be people come from all over camping here. We used to do all sorts of activities. Great fun. She's having a look for any more ducks. There she goes. Princess Tiana, Miss Purple, Ballypaws, Lugs. I should explain some of those nicknames. So, Miss Purple, when all of our litter were born, they each got. That's just a pee. I'm not have to pick up anything. Please do pick up your poo, by the way. Stick them in a bag. Put them in a bin. If you're anywhere around here, or anywhere for that matter, dog owners. Miss Purple. So, when she was born, there was 9 or 10 of them, and they each got different coloured collars to denote who was who. And when we went down to see the lady who was breeding them, breeding the dogs, Miss Purple, this one here, fell asleep on my wife's lap with her legs in the air, and from that point on we kind of just fell in love. Now that there is another reason. Tiana, I'll give you, that's her actual name, is Tiana, Princess Tiana. I don't know if any of you Maybe he might be. Come on, Belle. Hi, Tia. Come on, bud. Good girl. This way. Come on. Right, she might have a job going over here. Ugh. Come on then, let's go. Good girl. Come on this way. That's a girl. Good girl. Come on. Up. Come on. Good girl. Oh, you're not going to get your paws through there, are you? Okay, right. We'll go round the other way there. But you'll have to stay close to me with the ducks. That's not very good. I thought they'd be able to put something so dogs could get over that. This way, bud. Anyway, going back to her name. We've had several dogs. She's our fourth retriever. I have still got another retriever who's a bit older and she's at home. Come on then, let's go. She's Belle, who unfortunately was very ill. She had a lump removed about 10 days ago from one of her teats. It's a pretty distressing time. I mean, she's nearly 13. We were panicking, but luckily she's come through it, and hopefully in the next video we might see Belle as well. Because I think tomorrow we can start taking her out again. God, the geese are making a noise. Okay, so the name. So we had Belle, we have Tiana, and we had Jasmine. Now, in our house, we are Disney nuts, so we decided that we would call our dogs after Disney princesses. So we have Belle, who's a recognised princess. Jasmine's a recognised princess. We struggled with Tiana because we really didn't know what to call her, but eventually we realised that was a good name for her, and so she's Tiana. So the other thing she's called, if you see her, she's got huge lugs, and when she was young, lugs ears. Her ears and her sort of her skin. She took a while to grow into her skin, so she has these massive ears that kind of sort of were out of proportion to the rest of her body, and she's got big jowls as well. So I think that's from her dad's side. But she, hence the reason why she gets called lugs and jowls and stuff. Oh, just going past the park there, so it's a kids' park we're playing in. The other thing that she does, which is quite cute, is when she sits, she has these sort of ballet paws in the pose. It's a plie or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called, but she stands with her feet pointing out the way as if she's ready to do some ballet or something. She sits down. She may do it for us, so I don't know. But so she gets called all of these funny names. God, what a noise! I don't know if you can hear that, but what a noise the geese are making. Oh, here comes the ducks. Right, so we'll have to keep her a bit on the lead, I think, or at least a bit closer. Gee whiz, what a noise! Maybe they can hear us, I don't know. What a noise! Right, I'll turn the camera around so you can see. A bit closer, though. They always come. We used to come up here and feed the ducks when we had 2 young children. We don't have 2 young children. When the children were young, should I say? And we used to bring bits and pieces up here to feed the ducks and the geese. Although the geese were a bit vicious. Tia, come on then. Lots of places to sit. The duck pond and the lake's over there. Oh God, there's loads of geese! Wow! Gee whiz! My goodness me! That's a gaggle of geese. Holy moly! Never seen so many geese as that up here. Wow, there's a pheasant as well, decided to come and join the party. On a heron. Whoa! Lucked in today. Let's let the geese waddle past. Oh, there's little goslings as well. Right, now, this is what we call in Scotland a rather fusty day. Gee whiz, look at that. Just loads of them. God, they're all over there as well. This is the part of the lake. It's a smallish part of the lake. We're going to take a walk up that. There's a sort of hill up there with a monument at the top, and you can actually see normally all the way down there to the house, which you can't actually see today, which is disappointing because I'm actually up here as well to do my press up challenge. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's to raise awareness for PTSD, stress, depression. It's been doing the rounds on Facebook for a wee bit of time. Is you do 25 press ups over the course of 25 days, so 25 every day, for 25 days, and you nominate somebody on each day. I have to say, my lot that I've nominated, there's only a few of them doing it now. I'm on day 15, but never mind. There we go, it's just the way it is. Right, so now that we're past the duck pond, where she can get the ducks, we've let her off the lead a wee bit. Give her a wee bit of freedom. Run around the place. Hey Tiana. I should actually take some photographs for Instagram. If you're not, she's on Instagram. Trekking with Tiana. There she goes. Just a dumpling. Complete dumpling. So that's us about halfway up now. You can see, just see the urn in the distance there. It's very, very fusty day today. You can maybe just make out the gates at the bottom of that. But actually on a good day you can actually see the house that goes way back up to the top. And there's a story about that, which I'll tell you when we get to the top. See, if you can see the statues, this is the story, and the urn and other statue. And unfortunately you can't quite see the house, but actually the house is a mile from here. And actually, as the story goes, there's a window way down there at the house, and the story is, I'd love to believe this is true. I don't think it is. I think it's just a story. But way back, I don't know, 1800s I guess, or early 1900s I suppose. The story goes that somebody was at the top of the house, out looking out the window, and saw a stag up here and shot it from a mile away. And this is what this commemorates. This is what this sort of deer park, in inverted commas, well, it's called deer park, not inverted commas, but deer park commemorates. But actually it's not. It doesn't commemorate that. It actually commemorates George Hamilton Gordon's family, who was the 4th Earl of Aberdeen. They died of tuberculosis, so he built this monument up here for them, or these monuments should I say, up here for them. When he died, he was actually British Prime Minister, and famously was had Queen Victoria here and persuaded her to buy a spot at, or helped to persuade her to buy a spot at Balmoral Castle. So yeah, quite an interesting history of this place. There are others that belong to the Gordons. It's belonged to the Gordons for 500 years, but I'll tell you a bit more about that when we get back down to the house area, when we walk around the front. So Tiana's there, as predicted, I think, very, very predictably. She's too interested in everything else that's going on, so she's not having her breakfast this morning. But I'm going to have, I brought my wee camping stove, and I'm going to have a cup of coffee. So I just need to dig some things out. Got some water. That's probably good enough actually. I've got my wee thing here. Just put this here just now. I'll stand you up. Oh, it's got measurements inside. I didn't even know that. good enough. I actually had to buy a lighter to light this thing. So. Most enthralling TV in the world, but there you go. Or YouTube footage in the world. There you go. Tia, come here, bud. I must admit, I do like, I watch YouTube quite a lot. But Liz over here, oh, that's a bit of frosty water. Actually, I don't know why that is. Fill it up again. Watch a lot of YouTube stuff. It's much prefer it when people talk in their videos. I don't like it when it's kind of silent and people just get on with stuff. Right, this is the first time lighting this bad boy, so there we go. Super duper. So breakfast is looking good. She's still on our water, but my breakfast is looking damn fine. I've got some porridge and I'm going to put banana in it. Delicious. Come here, you, out of there. Come on. Now, she will definitely want a piece of this. Tia, here, what's this? Come on. I'm not sure if you're supposed to give dogs fruit and vegetables, and well, I know that you can give them carrots and stuff, but I'm not sure about bananas, but there you go. Wow, that knife's sharp. Come on, bud. Here, what's this? She's usually all over me in the morning when I put my muesli together with some banana. What's this? Look. Ah, you see, you saw that, didn't you? You saw that, didn't you? Come on then. Come round. I'll give you a piece. I'll give you a piece. She likes her bananas in the morning, don't you? There you go. Belle usually gets half as well, or not half, but usually gets a wee bit at the end. She's a good girl. Honestly, when my daughter, if she ever starts peeling a banana, Caitlin, my eldest daughter, she gets really upset because she forgets to leave a bit for the dogs. I've seen it all. A banana loving dog. All finished. Look, all finished. All done. I'm going to have my breakfast now, okay? Well, that's looking fine. That's looking mighty fine, I have to say. It's looking good. I don't know if you can see them there, the side. Banana. Probably boiling, but never mind. Right, well that's us. We're going to leave the deer park now, all fed and watered, but I am going to have a cup of tea round by the lake. I do like my cups of tea, all clean and all tidy. And there's Miss Purple, Ballypaws, Tiana, Jowls, Logs, whatever you want to call her. Come on then, you, let's go this way. Come on, buddy. Good girl. Good girl. Seen lots of other dogs this morning. We're going to take this path actually. I don't think I've actually taken this path ever. So I'm going to take this one. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's going to lead back down to the lake. There must be a fair old. I should have put my watch on to tell me how far we'd walked. A few other dogs out this morning. Dogs and people, I guess, out this morning. Wondering what I was doing eating my porridge. Quite funny. There we go. Anyway, this takes us, I don't know where this takes us, so we're going on an adventure together. That's what we're doing. We adventure. But everybody else seemed to be coming this way, so I think we'll just come this way too. Quite atmospheric actually. If you look across, just kind of pan round. It's another nice area we've come to. Just come down from up there. You can actually go right or straight on. I'm going to go straight on today because I want to go see the lake. Loads of folk walking their dogs today. It's a nice wee spot here. She doesn't like going over this type of thing, unfortunately. Loads of people out this morning. Well, there wasn't when I was here at 6 o'clock. I was the first person here, so... Or we were, weren't we, Tia? Yes, we were. I'm going to take some photographs back there, so... Right, so... We're now coming up to... We've come round the lake, actually. There's various bird hides and what have you around here, but it's just... Oh man, it's stunning this morning, wow. Look at it. Just absolutely stunning. One tiny, I say tiny, one swan in the distance there. Don't know if you can even see that. Such a lovely place. Everybody loves this Haddo House. People walking their dogs. Oh, the swan's coming towards us. So when we were younger, we used to come up here with the, I've already said, we used to come up here with the cubs and scouts and what have you, and we used to canoe on this. I don't know if they allow you to do it anymore. Maybe they still do. I don't know. Not involved in any of that sort of stuff, so I don't know. A heron over there as well. But we also used to cycle up here. Out with just me and my friends, and we're just coming up to a bridge over here. I'll share a story about, which was quite interesting. It's not interesting, quite funny actually. If the person watching this, I'm not gonna name his name, but he'll know who he is if he sees this video. So let's just see. I'll switch it round, switch the camera around again. So back round to Tiana. So you can see there's got a wee sort of bridge, and then there's a depth thing there. And actually, oh, that swan's going under for some food. So actually, over must have been. Oh my God, I was very, very young, but probably over somewhere over there. We decided that we were going to swim this when we were younger. And actually, if you see, where the swan is, one of my friends wasn't a very good swimmer, and I remember it being, it wasn't that deep, but it was that squelchy stuff with reeds and things in the bottom, and I remember he struggled to get to that. He got that far, which is about halfway across, and there was 3 of us that did it, and he was one of them. He tried it. The others kind of came, because you can actually go from there and just walk around the edge of the lake and up here, not where we've been, which is right up round the top there. You can actually come round the bottom there. My friends cycled and brought our bikes round to this point down here, and we swam across from there over to here. And he actually got into trouble. Not into trouble, I mean, he struggled to get, he started to really panic. And he'll know who he is, I'm sure he will, because he was one of the ones who couldn't actually swim out the group, and he, for whatever reason, he decided he was going to do it. And I thought, well, I was actually I was a strong swimmer, so I thought, you know what, I better wait for him. So he climbed on my back, and he swam, or he didn't swim, he held on to my back, and we swam to this point here, just at the front. I swam just to here, and he got out. And I'm such a foolish thing to do, but back then, back in the sort of, when was that, 1980s or whatever, just early 90s, 80s it must have been. Yeah, he got to here, but we made it, and he's alive and well and kicking. So I just thought I'd show this actually while I was doing this. So this is the sort of size of the lake, is the size of Haddo House. So we started down here at the car park. We walked all the way along. I think that's the pheasant tray, number 20. No, that's the tennis courts. No, we must have walked here. It's the pheasant tray, sorry. So we walked from here, along here, into the pheasant tray. And then this is where the camping was, and this is where the camping was for the cubs and the scouts. Walked down here, that's where all the ducks and the geese were. Then we walked all the way to the top of here. And we had our breakfast, and then we walked round the back, which is normally I would come back down and go down that way around the lake, but we walked round the back and we cut off. I should have maybe gone up round the woods. Never done that before, but I haven't done this one either. So I went up round there, down here, we've crossed the bridge, and now we are there, the lake. So we're going to go back round here. We might actually go round this way, and we're going to get in front of the house here, and we'll tell you a bit about the house. Right, Tia, we're ready to go? Come on then, bud. I know she keeps standing on her lead, she doesn't like it. You don't like it very much, do you? Good girl, come on then, let's go. Come on then, bud. On you go. Go, good girl. I don't see any more dogs or anything. I might let her off. It's probably good to be let off, actually. Here, come here, pal. Let you off. There you go. Go on then. There she goes. I do not believe for a second that she's going to go in there. She's terrified of water. She's not terrified. I mean, a retriever that doesn't go in water. My other retriever, Belle, she loves the water. Tiana is a bit of a fearty poos when it comes to the water. Jowls. Oh. That's our lead back on, because we're coming up to now the front of the house, Haddo House. So that's the church actually, and I love these. I've always loved these gates with the thistles on them. Just awesome things. And that's the side of the house just there. It used to be, if you come, we'll come round this way. Oh, she's struggling with her lead again. She doesn't like it. Come on, you. Let's go. Good girl. So this church here, I've actually been to a wedding in this church. It was a fabulous wedding. I mean, this place is brilliant to have you know, these types of things at. The problem was, back when we were actually at the wedding, I think you actually had to be, well, you didn't have to, you did have to be a member of like the grounds, or you know, you had to be a staff member of Haddo to be able to. You couldn't just come along and say, I'm going to pay X amount of money and you know, I want to have my wedding here. The great thing, it's got a hall, so it's got the church or the chapel, and then it's got a hall where you can actually you know, you can have your reception. And it was one of the best weddings I think I've ever been to. It was absolutely fantastic. Really, really good fun. Brilliant Ceilidh band. The hall up here, this place is owned, or was owned, we'll go into a bit of the history in a second, but this place was owned by, I don't know so much a friend at school, but his granny was grandmother was Lady Aberdeen. And we, at school, we actually got to hold, there was two parties up here actually. One was just a party, it was a rammy in the hall up here, and then the other was the prom. So we had our school prom up here for those in America. Anyway, it was great fun, really, really good fun. I don't think Lady Aberdeen quite expected. The first one was a bit of a session. So if we come round here, you kind of get to see the house now. Well, that's not it, that's the side of it. And there it is. Come with you, good girl. It's got these two sort of wings. Oh, staircase, and the staircase is going up either side. Fantastic looking building. And the chapel's just at the side there. And down over on the right hand side, just beyond these trees, or beyond the trees, there's the hall where you can have your sort of the gatherings and what have you after the weddings. I don't think it's actually. I should note, I should note now that actually I think you can just, pay to have your wedding up here. You weren't allowed to do it when we came to the wedding here. It was many years ago, but I think you can now. So the outside of it. So this is from the other side. So the deer park, where we were this morning, like the very top central window there. If you walk straight through there, and look at another side, you'll see the deer park, which is apparently a mile away. And look at that. Absolutely stunning building. All shut, unfortunately, of course, due to COVID. So apparently this place, or the land around here, has been the site for the Gordons, who lived here for 500 years. Now, the probably most prominent Gordon who lived here was, as I said earlier, George Hamilton Gordon. They became the Earls of Aberdeen, actually, is what they became. But George Hamilton Gordon was actually British Prime Minister between 1852 and 1855, which was actually during the Crimean War. So he was also, I think I said earlier, he was also favoured by Queen Victoria, and she actually stayed here quite a few times over the course of her life, I think. And actually, when we were at school, or not when we were at school, but the people we went to school with whose grandmother owned the place, or was the Lady Aberdeen, they have memories, or they used to have memories of the current royal family. So it was actually, I think it was Prince Edward, I think, he used to come up here. He used to come up to Haddo. I actually met him up here once at a mini rugby tournament when I was helping to coach or I wasn't actually, it was the treasurer of the rugby club. I came up to support one of the events the minis had up here and actually met him. And the stories go that he used to come up here and play sardines with our school pals up here. So yeah, I mean, it's quite an interesting wee anecdote. But it's a fabulous building. Yeah, and the Prime Minister here, I say most notably, he kind of persuaded. He didn't persuade, but I guess he had maybe a bit of influence on Queen Victoria to get her Balmoral estate. There is a ghost here, actually. I should mention there's a ghost, as all these types of houses have. I think his name's Archie. I think I've only ever been in there once. I mean, not that often, but yeah. So there is a ghost. And this, if you look, so that's the house. The church is at the side. And then that building right there is the hall, where you can actually have your sort of wedding reception, if you like, I guess. Nice place to have your reception. Great place for a hoolie. Even better place to have a school session, when you're younger, because that's exactly what it was. I'm sure, actually, during the course of it wasn't the prom, but I'm sure during the course of the one of the times that we were up here, actually, I think we need to go. Oh no, one of the times that we were up here, I'm sure Lady Aberdeen actually came in and caught us all drunk. Anyway, there we go. It's just one of the things we used to get up to when we were kids. Just coming round from the front now. Farming land up here. Loads and loads of farms all around this area. We're almost back at the car park now. Come out here. Now there's a coffee shop and there's a sort of a museum-y type place you can have that when it's not, obviously not, get myself tangled up in her lead, it's obviously not, she's not too sure what to say about what to do with the cows. There is a coffee shop and things up here where you can have a coffee and what have you. Obviously, when things get back to normal, I guess that'll open. This way to you. Good girl. And coming down here, this is kind of back to the start where we started this morning. That's been a good nearly 4 hours now. A good wee walk. Don't know how far it was. Probably not that far. Probably only about, I don't know, three miles or so. Not hugely far. 3, maybe 4 miles. You can. We'll walk the perimeter, so I'm guessing it must have been closer, maybe 3 or 4 miles. 4 miles maybe. Not bad we walking for a Sunday morning. Go back home and maybe people will be out of their beds by now. Fancy that? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Folk in my house, they like to stay in their bed till midday because they're young adults. Anyway, so this is coming round to the, I'll show you this here. This is where another part of or some of the outer buildings are. That's the hall there, and actually up there is where we had our reception drinks when we went to the wedding. And in here is the sort of to the right there's the coffee shop. Then you get the it's the cafe there, Courtyard Cafe. And look at all the cars parked there now. Absolutely zero when we arrived. Poaching with folk on a Sunday morning out for a walk since there's no social distancing anymore. Well, not quite. Anyway, that's Haddo House. This has been Scott and Tia. Hey bud, Tia. Here's a good girl. I think she's tired. Anyway, we'll maybe get another video going soon. Hopefully we'll be camping the next time.